Oh, durka durka durka.
What do I have for you today? The EDC Scalpel. Yeah, I don't know if that's really what you call it, but it's not a utility cutter. It's more of a murder weapon than that. So let's talk about this thing. This is the TGZUO aluminum scalpel pocket knife EDC everything. Keyword stuffing title. And I bought this a few days ago. This account has posted a couple things on the, I can't remember, on the Budget Blades or Chinese Knives subreddit, but those are my two favorite. Those are the ones that I read, and they put something out there and people saw it. Seemed like a little bit of a new category. It's new to me anyway. I've never seen one of these. So $40. It's all aluminum, and let's look at it a little bit more. So got this all aluminum design, held together by 6 T8 screws. I'm gonna disassemble this thing because a reviewer here said that the bolts came loose, and that doesn't sound very good with scalpels. So I'm gonna take it apart and I'll show you that. Got a pocket knife, pocket clip, and a glass breaker for the 1 in 12 million times when you will be at the bottom of a lake and needing that. I would like to take that off. So this action's pretty good. Comes with 2 different scalpels. I don't know anything about scalpels, but this is a number 24. As you can see, 24. And there is a number 60, which is even larger and more intimidating. And they give you 3 or 4 of each, or I'll show you the box. So first thing, obviously everybody wants to see this action and see the size. It's a pretty normal sized implement, and it's 4 inches long, so a little shorter than your typical EDC knife, or the ones that I carry. But this, good action, but I could definitely fail it once in a while if I'm not authoritative on this. So if I pull back, I'm just gonna try to do it a little bit. Yeah, of course it's per. Yeah, I'm gonna stop if I can't, but there we go. So I failed it. It hangs out like this, just kind of like a limp dick scalpel. All right, and then to fix it, you have to set all of your fears aside and hold this thing and pull it, get it to engage. Okay. All right, so continuing with some specs, I already measured it. It's 4 inches long, handle wise, and then with this blade, it's another 2 and change. So 4 inches long. Some of you are all too familiar with that measurement there, and then 0.75 wide. Okay, also hopefully not too familiar of a measurement for you. And then let's think about here the weight. And 2.36 ounces. So it is lighter than your typical EDC knife, and a little bit smaller too. All right, so now I'm going to take this thing apart. I haven't taken it apart before. I'm going to then put thread locker on it because of the guy on the internet who said that it fell apart in his pants. This is, by the way, 243 Loctite, the knockoff of it. And if you want Loctite, it's, I don't know, I wasted 5 minutes of my life. 243 is a little better than 242, so just buy 243. Putting that aside, okay, let's see what this thing does here. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to disengage this blade. So you pull it out, And this part is a little tricky. And I might have to get some pliers. Pause. They made it look easy in the video, but it wasn't quite that simple for me. So you pull this thing out and the blade disengages a little bit. And then you can try to not kill yourself. Come on, you bitch. Fucking. I think I just bent it. Ooh. Okay. We'll put a new one on. Luckily, they give you more than one. Whew. And I'm going to clean that up. All right. I got 5 of the 6 screws out. And now doing the final one here. I said T8 screws. Get a little bit of working space here. Now, what does she look like inside? I'm probably going to fuck this up, so... Alright, just remember for me what this thing looks like. Okay. Interesting, all aluminum. Looks pretty clean. And... I'm not going to take it apart beyond that, because why not? So this is what you'll see what hooks onto, and we'll see if I can get this thing back together, huh? Well, guess what? It fell apart, and I need to figure out how to get it back together. So I'm going to take this opportunity to show you all the different parts. This is the actual spring mechanism. And I don't know anything about OTFs. Oh, I should write that. Durka knows nothing about ATFs. Or OTFs. Did I say OTFs? I'm going to go to the bar in a minute. Nothing about OTFs. So, why would you buy this based on my recommendation? You shouldn't. You shouldn't buy anything based on anybody on the internet's recommendation. I do think this makes more sense than a OTF knife from the standpoint that it's cheap. And these scalpels are really, really sharp. I will show you that once I get this thing back together. But if you're not going to do hard tasks with an OTF, then why don't you just get the thing with the same action that it's incredibly sharp. It's made for cutting people apart. So stay tuned. All right, well, that took an embarrassingly long time to put back together, but I learned a couple things. In case you buy this thing, I took it all apart, and the spring has 2 metal pieces and a spring connecting them, and they're not symmetrical, those metal pieces. And you need to put the one with the bigger nub toward the glass breaker. So I had that flipped around, and it would only do half the action because it wasn't catching it on the backside. So make sure that if you're messing with the spring piece that you have the bigger piece or with the bigger nub toward this. Okay, that's lesson number 1. And then lesson number 2 is these screws can't be too tight, which maybe that's a normal thing with OTFs, but like this thing will not move if I screw these down too tight. And so I now understand why they were loose and came apart in this man's pocket. They came apart in Ramen Nude's pocket here. And it's because it needs to be kind of loose. So I think it's an even better idea to get some thread locker and lock it in place at that medium tension. Okay, so that seems like a no-brainer. I'm gonna do that later, but God, I'm not gonna take it apart again at this moment. That was fucking annoying. Okay, so let me show you what they gave us in the box. A little box here. Here is our, let's cut those ellipses there. And then we have 2 types of blades here. We have the one that I broke earlier, which was a number 24. And we have these number 60 blades. Where are you? Here we go. So this number 60 is like a straight up murder weapon. So why don't we put that on there? So it looks like they give us, I think, 5 of each. And then the way you do this, again, you pull it out a little bit more. Oopsie. And let's see here. You have to kind of get it slid across like that. Okay, so Let's see if she's in. Oh, see, this is going to be a problem because I took it apart, which was a bad idea. Well, shit. That's unfortunate. All right, stay tuned. I'm going to see if I can fix it. Oh my God, finally, it's so embarrassing. There you see, I got it in. I think that it's actually in a normal state. And it's just finicky about not always engaging. So the lesson about how to deal with this and put it back together, put it all back together on, if you take it apart on the right side, stack everything up on top of each other. Make sure that the larger metal nub is facing down and catching the bottom of the blade part. And so this piece should go on last. So you stack everything up, fit it, get this in there. Don't try to put them together. And then, second thing, tighten it all down and then selectively untighten it until it will actually fire. So this, if I tighten this a little bit more, it's not gonna fire. And that's the issue here, is that, and it's still going, but I think you'd want this to be as tight as you can be without too tight. And I think that's where the Loctite is gonna need to come in. Okay, and you haven't seen me cut it. I mean, this fucking thing is, it is a scalpel. I mean, it's high carbon steel. I mean, you kidding me? So, you know, not, I don't think you're gonna go chop wood with this. Yeah, no shit. But, I mean, what is gonna run through your Amazon boxes like this? Holy fuck. I got something on it now. And then I'll just chop your ear clean off. Van Gogh style. Anyway, all I have to say is, you know, I need to carry it to be able to truly recommend it, because I've had some trouble with it and it's a little bit finicky. And I wish that it were like 25 or 30 bucks, not 40, because it's, at this price, you can get a pretty legit knife. And I know I'm a Migron fanboy. You could get a Migron K-Cog or whatever. And that's a knife, and there's a lot more to it. But this does have a lot of cool factors. So I'm gonna recommend it, but I wouldn't buy it. I would buy it kind of for the novelty, and I would buy knives before I buy this. This is what I feel about it. All right, the TGZUO EDC Scalpel and murder weapon.